legacies for some of the guys on Team USA. The one that I think like this weirdly, like very much changes things for, like the guy that has been altered legacy wise most within the last, let's say 4 months, I think is Jrue Holiday. I think Jrue Holiday, from winning a title with Boston and now winning a gold medal with Team USA, I think he is now very clearly a Hall of Famer. And I don't know if that was true 6 months ago.
Okay, let me ask you. I understand what the Basketball Hall of Fame is, so I get it. Is Jrue Holiday an NBA Hall of Famer? If that's what it was,
I don't understand the question. Explain more.
If you didn't include the Olympics or college or anything else.
No, I don't think if you don't include the Olympics, I think Jrue Holiday is probably not a Hall of Famer if you don't include the Olympics.
Maybe I'm mistaken here. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. So you include everything from a player's career, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to ask. Like maybe I just misphrased the question when I asked initially. So like you're weighing heavily the 2 Olympic golds.
So here's the case. Jrue Holiday has won 2 Olympic golds as like a critical role player. Really, it was like a little bit more than that, if I remember correctly last time, but like critical piece, right? He has won 2 titles as the guy that like put the team over the top immediately upon his acquisition. He replaced 2 guys that like were awesome, all defense level, really high end, like, Marcus Smart's never been an all-star, but did Eric Bledsoe make an all-star team? I think he did. Point guards. And immediately it became clear that he was drastically more important in terms of winning basketball than what those guys were.
Just looking up Bledsoe. No all-star games.
No all-star games.
1, 2 all defensive teams, and then all rookie second team.
Yeah. So. Jrue Holiday is a 6-time all defense guy. From Dan Devine over at Yahoo, who did the numbers on this. Jrue Holiday is one of 14 players in NBA history to have 15,000 points, 6,000 assists, 4,000 rebounds, and 1,000 steals while being an all-star multiple times. Oh, by the way, Jrue Holiday is an all-star 2 times. To me, Jrue Holiday is very clearly one of the players that we will look back on from this era who impacted winning more than any other player. You look at the way that the basketball world respects Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday just got traded for a, top 50 player of all time in Damian Lillard as the main piece. He has been on Team USA, multiple times now. He continues to carve out a role for Team USA more than anything. Like, he is not a passenger on these teams. He is very clearly an important player. Okay.
Can I give the 2020 numbers? Let me give the 2020 numbers, because this is better than I would have guessed. So he was second on the team in minutes. He was third on the team in rebounds, first on the team in assists, first on the team in steals, and he ended up third on the team in points per game. That was 2020 Olympics, 2021, whatever.
Yeah. He was like a really, really important player on that team. Also, I know that Jrue was not incredible during that playoff run for the Bucks necessarily from a shooting perspective. Like, I think he shot 40% from the field, right? I don't know, man. Like, I think he was, if not just as important, potentially a little bit more important than Chris Middleton. Like, I think there's a case Jrue Holiday was the second best player on an NBA title team, right? It was either him or Middleton. Like, I'm not going to sit here and parse, right? But either him or Chris Middleton was the best player, or was the second best player on a title team led by Giannis, who is a top 20-ish player of all time by the time he's done, right? This year, he was a little bit less than that, right? Like, he was probably their 4th most important player, certainly behind Jason and Jalen. And look, like, however you want to stop and say what Porzingis was, right? And Derek White was incredible. He was right on the level with Derek White, but he was something like their third or fourth most important player this year. And I give him the nod over Kristaps, if only because Kristaps missed most of the playoffs, right? So you can reasonably say, I don't know if I would say this, but you can reasonably make the argument he's been a top 3 player on a title team twice in the NBA. He has been an Olympic gold medalist twice, where he's been like a critical player, was an Olympic gold medalist, and he was a top 3 player on an Olympic gold medalist. He's just the ultimate kind of winner. And that's the reality of what I think we should be rewarding from the Hall of Fame, right?
No, I'm fine with it. I was surprised how much, like, I saw your tweet, and so I just kind of scrolled the comments. I was surprised how much, like, guaranteed 100%. It's not even a debate. It's not even a question. I'm like, interesting. I find it interesting. I have no issue with it. As you would probably guess, I don't have a whole lot of care about this necessarily. And the other thing is, I don't have the historical context to say, oh, well, this guy is in, so this guy should be in, like all of that. I find it a little bit interesting that everybody is so quick to say he's a Hall of Famer when he's never made an all NBA team. Like, not once in Jrue Holiday's career have people said he is one of the 15 best players in the league this season. I'm not saying that's an argument to keep him out. I just find it interesting that everybody seems so on board with it. And I assume it's because of the winning. And so I think how you preface this, and which is fair and right, I think how you preface this is important. The last 2 months has completely changed the case for Jrue Holiday, because I don't think we'd be sitting here saying this if it was, let me ask you, what if he only had one NBA championship? Would it be no doubt?
No, it wouldn't be no doubt.
Okay.
To me, it's the fact that he's
Twice.
done it now but for 2 separate teams in entirely separate situations,
Sure.
where he was the guy that like lifted them over the top.
Sure.
Right. I think Rachel Reynolds in the YouTube comments brings this up. Jrue Holiday is a force multiplier. I think that's exactly right. That is exactly what he is. He brings the best out of your best players at a level to which I don't know that there is. I'm sure there are a couple other guys like on the superstar level that do this, right? Like we could talk about Devin Booker, right? Like Devin Booker was incredible, but Jrue Holiday's ability to make 40% of his catch and shoot threes, be one of the 3 best perimeter defenders on planet Earth, drive, pass, kick, assist. It just fits with everything. It's why Derek White was on this team, right? Like, these guys are really valuable. And Jrue Holiday, to me, very clearly, is now deserving of, I think, enshrinement in the Hall of Fame.
Listen, I'm cool. Like, I'm only throwing things out because I was so surprised how everybody was on board with it. So this was an opportunity for me to go like, hey, I'm gonna go play the other side of the fence just to see, because I expected major pushback, to be honest, from your tweet of, he's never averaged this, or he's never been on an all NBA team, or what. I think Jrue Holiday is awesome. I thought he was first team all NBA defense this year. Like, I would watch games and like, this is so cool watching the matchups and how they used him and all the things he does and all of that. So because it is a basketball Hall of Fame, it's what he's done in his entire career. I'm cool with it, because 2 Olympic golds, like, if we hold any weight in winning an Olympic gold, then he was a major contributor to both of those runs, along with 2 NBA championships. So I'm fine with it. Like, I just thought it was be an opportunity to throw out a couple caveats of, well, are we sure it's okay without this, without that? And again, I don't know, all like the case of some of the people that are in the Basketball Hall of Fame that I'm sure don't even have, I don't want to say close to, but probably don't have the same resume that Jrue Holiday had. I don't know how many guys in the NBA, or excuse me, in the Hall of Fame never won all NBA and are in the Hall of Fame. Like, I would love to know what the answer to that question is. How many guys
I would too.
in the Basketball Hall of Fame never made first, second, or third team all NBA? That'd be fascinating to know.
Yeah, like the name that stands out to me immediately is Michael Cooper, 5-time defensive champ, or 5-time NBA champion, won 1 Defensive Player of the Year award, 8 times all defense, but was never even an all-star. right? Like that's probably one.
And
Um,
so to build off this, like no Olympics, right? Like there's not an Olympic aspect to what he did. So the 5-time NBA championship is more obviously than Jrue, but Jrue can balance that a little bit with his 2 Olympic golds.
yep. No, I think that's right.